This is My Brother the King by Tanya K. Taylor. It used to be hard to be a princess. I used to think I had to dress up all the time and speak so and just act all royal and snooty and such, and only have certain friends. It was hard trying to figure out what to do, what not to do every day. But when I was older, my big brother told me to just relax and remember that John 3:16, that's my favorite verse, speaks of how much God loves me and the whole world. And that when I read the Bible and go to church and just talk to Him through the day, He will help me live right. He said the whole Bible is about the love of God, but to especially read 1 John and Ephesians. I asked him if the Ephesians knew the Vikings that I learned about in school, and he laughed. He said we were all connected in some way because God created us all. One day, when we were outside in the gardens, I asked him what I should wear. A girl likes to look good, you know. "Oh, it doesn't really matter," he said, smiling at me. Then he bent down and touched an iris, a deep royal purple. "Not even Solomon in all his glory was arrayed like one of these," he said. He was silent for a bit. "It's good to dress modestly," he said, "so you won't be distracted or a distraction from worshiping God. But the Father isn't looking at your clothes. He's looking at the beautiful sparkling white robe you wear that was given to you from what you believe about the blood spilled for you on the cross." I looked myself up and down to see if I'd forgotten that I put it on. "You've had it on since the moment you believed," he said. Then he hugged me and said, "Besides, Princess, real kings and queens and princes and princesses are royal inside, and they know it's not about fancy clothes. It's about how they think of themselves." Then he smiled at me really big, walked over to a tree, and pulled a beautiful red box with a silver ribbon from behind it. He handed it to me. "For you, Princess, to go with your lovely robe." "Wow, thanks," I said, and opened it. I couldn't believe it. It was a princess crown for me. I held it up, and it sparkled so much in the sun that it seemed to me that the jewels were real. "This is a cool, crowny thing. What is it called?" I said. He laughed and said, "Tiara. Put it on, my princess." I did, and he whipped out a mirror that I didn't know he had, so I could look at myself. "I'm gorgeous," I said. He laughed again. "I love that sound. It's like beautiful bells ringing or something, only different." Somehow, just looking at myself wearing that crown made me feel more royal. "Aurora Dominique Walker," said my brother. "Look at me." I turned and he looked at me. He said, "I can see your lovely white robe, too. It's the royal robe of righteousness, like Isaiah 61:10 talks about. It glistens on you." I looked in the mirror. "Where?" "Don't worry," he said. "It's there. Just remember that because of the blood, you are royalty, and you always will be. The robe is proof, and permanent." Then he told me some things about my future. As he talked, I got pictures in my head. My brother is so cool that way. He has words from God and sometimes dreams, and he often tells me about them. He said that God can speak to me in that way too. And when my brother tells me about my life, it is so exciting. "Wow," I said, looking at my crown in the mirror again. "I'll have to wear this to school and show my friends." "Oh, why don't you keep it at home, special between you and me," he said. "You can put it on again when you need to remember who you are, a precious princess of the Most High God. And remember, it's not the crown that makes you beautiful, it's your heart that loves God." He hugged me again and said, "You are a lovely flower in the garden of the King, my sweet little sister." Then my brother left for a while, and I looked at myself in the mirror again. "Wow, this was great. God," I whispered, "help me to be a good princess, so other girls will want to be a princess too."